kindly raise. Rise. Thank you. Ghana branch. Thank you. Kenya branch. Lesotho branch. Malawi. Namibia. Nigeria. Thank you. Rwanda. Sierra Leone. South Africa. Thank you. Tanzania. The Gambia. Uganda. Zambia. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, we have as well attendance of sub-national branches delegation. I also request, as I mentioned your branch, kind rise. I believe the Yobe State Legislature, Nigeria. Nasalawa State Legislature, Nigeria. Lagos State Legislature, Nigeria. KwaZulu-Natal Province, South Africa. Eastern Cape Provincial, South Africa. Gauteng Provincial, South Africa. Limpopo Provincial, South Africa. Mpuramanga Provincial, South Africa. Western Cape, South Africa. Northwest Provincial, South Africa. Northern Cape, South Africa. Free State, South Africa. Your Excellency, we have also regional secretariat officials. Please rise where you are. Secretariat, thank you. We have also accompanying officials. Kindly rise where you are. Accompanying officials. Thank you. Your Excellency, I thank you for your attention. And after this introduction, I now have the honor to invite Right Honorable to the Action, Speaker of the Parliament of Tanzania, and the President of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, to deliver her welcome remarks. Your Honorable, carry on.
Good morning, everybody. Now, I have been welcomed here to deliver my opening remarks, but before I do that, Your Excellency, I would beg your indulgence so that, because the delegations were requested to stand when they are being introduced, but the leaders, their leaders did not have a chance to stand, and some of them might not know each other. So I'll go through the list so that we get to know each other, and then I will give you my opening remarks. Your Excellency, here we have Right Honorable Segepo Solomon Thomas, who is the President of the CPA Africa region and Speaker of the Parliament of Sierra Leone. Thank you so much for coming. We also have Right Honorable Jata Fabakari Thobog, Vice President of the CPA Africa region and Speaker of the Parliament of the Gambia. Thank you so much. We also have Right Honorable Catherine Gotani Hara, Chairperson of the CPA Africa Region Executive Committee and Speaker of the National Parliament of Malawi. Thank you so much. We also have Honorable Paul Christian Makonda, the Regional Commissioner for Arusha. Thank you so much. We also have Right Honorable Arthur Holder, who is the Acting Chairperson of the CPA International and Speaker of the Parliament of Barbados. Thank you so much. We also have Mr. Stephen Twigg, who is the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Thank you so much. We also have Mr. Jarvis Matia, the Deputy Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Thank you so much. And if there's anybody that I missed, I will request the lists towards the end. I will talk to the Secretary General for CPA Africa region just now, and I will mention you towards the end if I've missed you. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Since the rest of the leaders who are sitting with me on the high table have been ably introduced to you, I'll not go through the protocol in order to save time. The person who was just introducing you a while ago is the new clerk of the National Assembly of Tanzania, and this is Mr. Baraka. Sometimes we forget to introduce the people who talk here. So I would like to begin by expressing my gratitude to the Almighty God for bringing you all here safely. You're all welcome to Tanzania. But I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to you, Your Excellency, for accepting to come here to represent Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. And this invitation was sent to you knowing that this 53rd CPA Africa Annual Regional Conference is very important to us as parliamentarians, but also as CPA family. Your Excellency, we are deeply grateful for your willingness to take time out of your very busy schedule and your numerous regional, national, and international responsibilities to preside over the opening of this important conference. On behalf of everyone gathered here, I extend my heartfelt thanks for the honor and privilege of your presence. Your attendance today clearly reflects the trust and confidence you have in the pivotal role of Parliament in advancing our shared national, regional, and global agendas. In the same breath, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to honorable speakers, delegates, members of the Secretariat, accompanying officials, and invited guests for honoring our invitation by coming in great numbers. Your presence is invaluable, and I assure you that your stay here in Arusha will be fruitful, memorable, and filled with warmth of your brothers and sisters from this beautiful country. Dear colleagues, I must also recognize the tireless efforts of the Parliament of Tanzania and the CPA Africa Regional Secretariat in organizing this prestigious gathering. Special thanks to all of you who have contributed to making this event a success. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to welcome you to the 53rd CPA Africa Annual Regional Conference here in the beautiful city of Arusha. This conference marks a significant milestone in our collective efforts to foster parliamentary democracy and strengthening regional cooperation. I would like to express our profound gratitude for the presence of our distinguished guests from various parts of Africa and beyond. Your participation not only underscores the importance of this conference, but also enriches our discussions with your invaluable insights and experiences. When the Secretariat approached me to seek support from the Parliament of Tanzania in hosting this conference, I was indeed very pleased, especially given that no host has been confirmed despite the annual regional conference roster already being established. Without hesitation, I agreed to do that. And I took responsibility to do this because I firmly believe that as Africans, we must unite to confront the numerous challenges we face together. As the conference unfolds, I am sincerely grateful for the opportunity it provides for collaboration and dialogue among all of us. Let us work together during this conference to strengthen our bonds and advance our shared goals. Your Excellency, the annual General Conference was held in 2022, 2 years ago. However, I have had an opportunity to meet some of you at the SADC PF and during my quest for the presidency of the Interparliamentary Union, of which I was with my sister Catherine Gotanhara from Malawi. We were the African candidates. Not just us, there were others, but in the CPA family. For many of the delegates who are here today, they haven't had a chance to hear from me thanking you and your countries for supporting this candidature. So I would like to take this opportunity to extend my appreciation to all of you for the support that you supported all of us as candidates of Africa. And as I stood as a winner, we have all won together, and we will all lead together. Your Excellency, we can all confidently agree that CPA Africa is an important forum for parliamentarians. Your role is crucial as we uphold and promote gender equality, the emancipation of women, respect for human rights, democracy, and good governance. Colleagues, your contributions are vital. As we focus on the socio-economic challenges facing the people we represent, like food security, youth unemployment, and the impact of climate change. It is this collective dedication that makes CPA Africa a success. The National Assembly of Tanzania, being among the 63 members of this distinguished association of parliaments, has always been at the forefront of setting the agenda and participating in discussions of the resolutions which we, the parliaments, cannot execute ourselves without the involvement of the executive arm of the state. That's the governments of our respective countries. We enjoy such a sound cooperation with the government here in Tanzania. Your Excellency, please convey our appreciation to Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the entire government for this cooperation. Your Excellency, thank you. Your Excellency, dear colleagues, the theme of this year's conference, Africa's parliaments at the forefront of addressing existential global challenges, food insecurity, climate change, and youth employment, resonates profoundly with our shared goals and aspirations. Over the coming days, we will engage in meaningful discussions, workshops, and committee meetings to strengthen our legislative frameworks, promote good governance, and ensure sustainable development across our member states. This conference will feature several key activities, including CPA Africa Regional Conference workshops. These workshops, Your Excellency, will serve as a valuable platform for exchanging knowledge on best practices in parliamentary procedures and enhancing our legislative impact. Secondly, we have the executive committee meetings, which have already begun under the able leadership of the Speaker of Malawi, Right Honorable Catherine Gotanhara. These meetings will focus on making critical decisions that will shape the strategic direction of the CPA Africa and enhance our regional cooperation. Thirdly, we will have Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, CWP, Africa Business Meeting. This segment will prioritize empowering women parliamentarians and addressing the gender-specific challenges within our legislative bodies, fostering greater inclusivity and representation. And I would like to take this opportunity to urge all of us to take a copy of the anthem for women parliamentarians of the Commonwealth, because it gives a direction of where CPA would want to reach with the body of women within our parliament, but also within our countries that we represent. As we embark on this journey together, I encourage each of you to actively participate in all sessions. Your insights, experiences, and contributions are essential as we collectively strive toward our shared objectives. Let us use this platform to forge stronger partnerships, exchange innovative ideas, and develop actionable strategies that will benefit our respective countries and the entire African continent. Your Excellency, dear colleagues, as we open this meeting today, I urge all of you to think beyond the borders of our individual nations. Let us leverage our collective influence to ensure that our discussions here lead to concrete and impactful outcomes that will truly transform the lives of the people we represent. Our efforts this week must go beyond rhetoric. They must serve as a catalyst for legislative action. As we deliberate on the strategies to combat food insecurity, tackle climate change, and empower our youth, let us stay anchored in the belief that, as Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. And Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere once said, it can't be done, play your part. Thus, somebody must take a step to do it, because it is possible. And I would urge you to be that somebody who has to take a step. Together, we can, and we will, position Africa's parliaments at the forefront of meaningful change, championing the well-being of our people, protecting our environment, and creating a future where our youth can look forward to endless possibilities filled with hope and opportunity. Distinguished colleagues and delegates, in conclusion, I once again welcome all of you to Arusha, the Geneva of Africa. This city is a powerful symbol of unity and progress, serving as a central hub for international diplomacy and regional cooperation, which is crucial for promoting peace and development in Eastern and Central Africa. Arusha represents a unique opportunity to achieve multiple objectives in a single visit. With its excellent year-round climate, the city provides an ideal setting for our discussions and collaborations. Furthermore, its strategic location along the Great North Road, connecting Cape Town to Cairo, and I had people from Western Cape here. You want to wave your hands? Thank you. Enhances the accessibility and positions it favorably for regional connectivity. Additionally, Arusha is a gateway to Tanzania's renowned Northern Tourist Circuit, offering access to breathtaking destinations, such as the Ngorongoro Crater, which you will have a chance to visit, Manyara National Park, Tarangire, and Serengeti National Parks. Arusha National Park and Mount Meru, as well as Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest peak of Africa, at the same time, the highest peak in the world for a freestanding mountain. I encourage all of you to take some time to experience this natural beauty here in Africa and the warmth of the people of Tanzania. We are committed to ensuring your stay here is both memorable and comfortable. For those who will remain in Arusha after the conference, we will still be at your disposal to give you all the services that you will need. May our stay here be memorable, our discussions fruitful, our determination steadfast, and our unit unbreakable. I thank you for listening. Okay, so since the list is a little longer, the Secretary General for Africa, CPA Africa region will reintroduce the members who did not stand so that we get to know each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, Your Excellency. When I was doing the introduction here, I found it difficult to request my boss to stand. However, Your Excellency, we have Honorable Matthew Hono Refaso Mosena, Deputy Speaker, Parliament of the Kingdom of Lesotho. Your Excellency, the following are honorable speakers from sub-national legislatures. Let us start with Honorable Chiroma A. Buba, Speaker of Yobe State Legislature, Nigeria. We have Honorable Daniadi Jatau, Speaker of Nasarawa State Legislature, Nigeria. We have Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Ajay Obasa, Speaker of Lagos State Legislature. We have Honorable Nontembeko Nothemba Boise, Speaker of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. We have Honorable Neurene Kraste, Speaker of Northern Cape Province, South Africa. We have Honorable Desibo Mohono, Speaker of the Northwestern Province, South Africa. We have Honorable Sereni Sarus Agasti, Speaker of Eastern Cape Province, South Africa. We have Honorable Morakane Musupioe, Speaker of Gauteng Provincial, South Africa. We have Honorable Makoma Makropete, Speaker of Limpopo, South Africa. We have Honorable Rindi Masina Retie, Speaker of Mpuramanga Provincial Region, South Africa. We have Honorable Dairene Michel, Speaker of Western Cape Provincial Region, South Africa. The last but not least, Honorable Norita Ndogane, Deputy Speaker of Free State Provincial, South Africa. Your Excellency, I humbly submit.
Your Excellency, the guest of honor, after powerful, felicitous welcome remarks from the host speaker, it's now my distinct honor to invite Right Honorable Catherine Gotanhara, MP, the chairperson of CPA Africa Region Executive Committee and the Speaker of Parliament of Malawi, to deliver her welcome remarks.
Your Excellency Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson MP, Speaker of Parliament of Tanzania and President of the IPU, Right Honorable Solomon Thomas MP, President of CPA Africa Region and Speaker of Parliament of Sierra Leone, Right Honorable Jata Tobong MP, Vice President of the CPA Africa Region and Speaker of the Parliament of Gambia, Right Honorable Arthur Holder MP, Acting Chairperson of CPA International and Speaker of Parliament of Barbados, Honorable Paul Christian Makonda, Arusha Regional Commissioner, distinguished delegates present here and all heads of delegation present here, Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Mr. Baraka Leonard, the Regional Secretary, Regional Secretariat officials present here, staff from Parliament's accompanying officials, spouses, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I feel greatly honored to stand before you today on an occasion of the official opening of the 53rd Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Regional Conference. Allow me first to extend our deepest gratitude to His Excellency Honorable Philip Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for honoring us with his presence today. You are representing Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. We are indeed privileged to have you in our midst. Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan is a strong woman and icon of Africa, whose leadership and vision continue to inspire not only the people of Tanzania, but the entire African continent. We are grateful for her unwavering commitment to regional integration and her exemplary leadership in championing the development of Tanzania and Africa at large. Honorable colleagues, allow me to, in a special way, to thank the Speaker of Parliament of Tanzania, Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson, who is also the President of the IPU, for graciously accepting to host this year's conference in collaboration with the Regional Secretariat. We are gathered here in Tanzania at a time when the region is facing challenges in securing a host for the event. Yet our Tanzanian brothers and sisters have welcomed us with open arms. From the moment we arrived in this beautiful city of Arusha, and she has just told us that it's the Geneva of Africa, the reception and the generosity of the Secretariat and the Parliament of Tanzania have been unparalleled, and we're deeply appreciative of everything that has been put to our disposal. In a special way, this is the first time we're meeting as CPA Africa Region, whilst we've ascended to the position of IPU President. As CPA, would like to congratulate you, Madam, and wishing you all the best in your endeavor as the President of the IPU. Distinguished guests, let me also thank and acknowledge all the speakers who have traveled distances to join us. Your participation will enrich the discussion which we will have and resolutions which we will develop, and I'm sincerely grateful for your dedication. Allow me also to thank all distinguished delegates who have taken time out of their busy schedules to attend this important conference. Your presence here is a testament to the shared commitment we all have towards building a better future for Africa. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference, African Parliaments at the forefront of addressing existential global challenges, food insecurity, climate change, and youth employment. And the topics to be discussed were carefully crafted during the executive committee held in KwaZulu-Natal in April. Although these discussions took place last year, the relevance of the theme has not diminished. In fact, the issues remain as pressing today as they were when we first set them. The topics we will address reflect the ongoing challenges our continent faces requiring continued dialogue and concerted action. Africa continues to confront a number of existing challenges which will be addressed through the plenary session of the conference. The first of these is food insecurity. Millions of people facing chronic hunger exacerbated by climate change, conflict, inadequate agricultural infrastructure. Despite Africa's vast arable land, the continent remains vulnerable to food shortage due to poor investment in agriculture, changing weather patterns, and insufficient technological transfer. Parliament ensure sustainable agricultural practices, food sovereignty, and the development of resilient food systems to combat hunger and malnutrition. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, climate change is another critical issue that is threatening Africa's development. The continent contributes the least to global greenhouse gas emissions, yet suffers the most from the consequences, droughts, floods, and extreme weather patterns that devastates communities and livelihoods. As African parliaments, we must champion policies that mitigate the impact of climate change, invest in climate resilience infrastructure, and promote adaptation strategies that protect the most vulnerable. The transition to clean and renewable energy is not only an environmental necessity, but also an economic opportunity for Africa. We must harness our continent's abundant solar, wind, and geothermal resources to provide energy security for our people. In addition, reforming Africa's electoral system remains paramount to the consolidation of democracy on the continent. Many countries continue to experience challenges with electoral integrity, violence, and post-election disputes. Strengthening our electoral process to promote transparency, fairness, and inclusivity is essential to building trust in democratic institutions. This reform is especially crucial in ensuring the participation of women and marginalized groups whose voices remain underrepresented in decision-making processes across the continent. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, youth unemployment is perhaps the most urgent Lastly, I would like to address the issue contribution of women in parliament, recognizing the critical role women play in governance and development. Despite progress, women's representation in African parliaments still lags behind global standards. We must continue to push for gender equality in leadership, ensure the outcomes of this conference have a lasting impact on policy and action. In conclusion, I wish to once again express my sincere gratitude for the warm reception and generous hospitality extended to us since we arrived in the beautiful city of Arusha. To each delegate who has taken the time to participate in this vital conference, I extend my deepest thanks. Your contributions are crucial shaping the future of our continent and addressing the challenges we face together. And when I was listening to the Speaker, Dr. Tulia, she did mention that she's going to be at our disposal and she's going to provide anything. And I don't know when she was saying that she knows our needs and that, but we are saying thank you very much. We've heard that very loud and clear, and we will indeed extend our stay. But once again, Your Excellency, thank you very much and extend our gratitude to Her Excellency.
The CPA International, and we are overjoyed that the top leadership of the CPA International is ably represented here. On that note, I wish to invite Mr. Stephen Twigg, the CPA Secretary General, to deliver his goodwill message. Mr. SG.
Thank you, Daniel, and good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, the Right Honourable Dr. Tulia Ackson MP, Speaker of the Parliament of Tanzania and President of the IPU, the Right Honourable Segapo Solomon Thomas MP, President of the CPA Africa Region and Speaker of the Parliament of Sierra Leone, the Right Honourable Jaka Thombo, Member of Parliament, Vice President of the CPA Africa Region and Speaker of the Parliament of the Gambia, the Right Honourable Catherine Gotani Hara, MP, Chairperson of the Africa Regional Exco and Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi, the Honourable Paul Christian Makonda, the Arusha Regional Commissioner, Right Honourable Arthur Holder, SC MP, Acting Chairperson, Speakers, Presiding Officers, Delegates, accompanying staff, all other protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here at this 53rd CPA Africa Conference here in beautiful Arusha. And I think, Madam Speaker, that we should say that Geneva is the Arusha of Europe, rather than that Arusha is the Geneva of Africa. Can I thank those who represent this region in the various governing committees of the CPA, our International Executive Committee, our Interim Executive Board, CWP Steering Committee, Small Branches Steering Committee, Disabilities Regional Champion, and our various working groups. And if I might take this opportunity to say again something I said when I met with your Executive Committee yesterday, I want in particular to put on record my thanks to the Honourable Bonsu from Ghana, who has served for a long period on our International Executive Committee, including as Vice Chair during a very critical time for the organisation. Thank you very much indeed, Honourable Bonsu, for the work that you do and have done over a long period for the CPA. I am pleased to be back in Tanzania. Earlier this year, I had the privilege to visit Dodoma and to meet the excellent Regional Secretariat team. And I'd like to congratulate the new Clerk of the Parliament of Tanzania on assuming the role of Regional Secretary for the Africa region. And also I visited Zanzibar, beautiful Zanzibar, to attend the Commonwealth Law Ministers meeting. 2024 is a very important year for the Commonwealth and for the CPA. Later this month in Samoa, the Commonwealth heads of government will come together for the CHOGM meeting. That will elect a new Secretary-General for the Commonwealth. And we have 3 strong candidates, all of them from this region, from the Gambia, from Ghana, and from Lesotho. And last month, the CPA, in cooperation with the Commonwealth Foundation and Chatham House, hosted an event in London at which all 3 candidates spoke powerfully about their vision for the Commonwealth. I look forward on behalf of you, on behalf of the CPA membership to working with whichever of these three strong candidates is elected by the heads of government in Samoa this month. Soon after CHOGM, we will convene for the 67th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference in Sydney, Australia in November. At that conference, we will have important elections for the international chairperson and the chairperson of CPA small branches, and we will have a landmark set of decisions to make about the next phase in the change in CPA's legal status. As you will know, for over 30 years, the CPA has been making the case for legislation in the United Kingdom to recognise our role as an international interparliamentary organisation. Earlier this year in July, immediately after the United Kingdom's general election, my top priority on your behalf was to persuade the new British government to legislate on CPA status. And on July the 17th, in the King's speech, setting out the new government's plans for its first year in office, I'm very pleased to share with you that this bill was included in that King's speech as a government bill, something that we have been arguing for many, many years. The bill is moving smoothly through Parliament. It received its second reading in the House of Lords at the end of July. It passed its committee stage in the House of Lords last month and is due to have its final third reading next week, after which it will pass to the House of Commons. Having stood at this, the third consecutive Africa Regional Conference that I've attended as Secretary-General, I am very pleased that finally I can stand here and say with confidence that we are going to finally achieve this new status, and we will do so in 2025. I am so grateful to this region, so grateful to the Africa region of the CPA for the central role that you have played for more than 3 decades in keeping this issue alive. Last year in Accra, Ghana, we created an interim CPA without charity status, so that for the first time this year, your membership subscriptions have not gone to a charity. And next month in Sydney, we will discuss a constitution for that new CPA and transfer the assets from the charity to the new CPA. And once the United Kingdom legislation is fully in law, this new CPA will sign an agreement with the British government, and it will become the newly legally recognised Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Now, we haven't sought this status for its own sake. We seek this new status because it will bring new opportunities for the parliaments of the Commonwealth to have your voices heard across the world, in regional bodies, in the Commonwealth itself, and in the United Nations. A stronger voice for parliaments and more freedom for the members of the CPA to speak up on your priorities and our shared values. And those shared values and those priorities are well reflected in the programme for this conference. Food insecurity, tackling climate change, harnessing renewable energy, addressing mistrust in politics, promoting gender equality, and reforming education to address youth unemployment. And since the 52nd Regional Conference in Sierra Leone 2 years ago, CPA headquarters has been working on these shared priorities. And I'd like to bring my remarks to a close by highlighting some examples on that. Many of you will have signed up for our CPA online parliamentary academy, providing a range of courses for parliamentarians and clerks. Some of you will have taken part in our CPA benchmarks for democratic legislatures, most recently the Parliament of Eswatini, which last week undertook a benchmarks assessment, and I thank them for that. We've heard very powerfully just now from the chairperson of Africa Region about the continued challenge around gender equality across the whole of the Commonwealth. In the past year, the CWP internationally has had 2 workshops, both hosted in this region, first by Tanzania last year and most recently by Nigeria. And I'd love to echo the comments of Speaker Axon that the CWP anthem provides a brilliant blueprint for what we all stand for in seeking equal representation for women and men in all of our parliaments. And of course we have our Commonwealth Parliamentarians with Disabilities Network. And one of its functions is to provide a capital investment fund to make parliaments as accessible as possible. And I'm so pleased that there have been successful applications to that fund from Kenya, from Sierra Leone, from Uganda, from the Seychelles, and from Tanzania. Next year, we will begin a consultation for the next CPA strategic plan. That will cover the period from 2026 to 2030. It will be the first strategic plan for the new CPA with its new legal status. And I encourage branches and networks across the Africa region to take part in this discussion. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you at your conference. I look forward to meeting many of you informally today and over the next few days. And I look forward, I'm sure, to seeing some of you at our conference in Sydney next month. May I take this opportunity to wish all participants here a successful, productive and enjoyable 53rd CPA Africa Regional Conference. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you so much, Mr. SG, for your very reassuring goodwill message. Your Excellency, the guest of honor, it's now my humble duty to invite Right Honorable Arthur Holder, the acting chairperson of CPA International and the Speaker of Parliament of Barbados, to also deliver his goodwill message.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, the Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson, Speaker of the National Assembly of Tanzania, and the President of the IPU, all other protocols being observed, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. I am deeply honored and humbled to be invited to this extremely important 53rd CPA Regional Conference in Africa. This theme that you have chosen is most important, and I want to commend your parliaments for having the foresight to tackle these burning issues that have engulfed our world. These issues are of concern to parliaments throughout the Commonwealth and beyond, and require immediate action. Indeed, food insecurity, climate change, and youth employment are inextricably linked. The COVID-19 pandemic was a wake-up call for all countries, especially developing countries, to pay greater attention to food security, as the closure of borders caused great stress for large importers of food and showed the urgency for countries to pay closer attention to agriculture and diversification. It has been further exacerbated by the war in Ukraine and its supply chain dynamics. Youth employment really means youth engagement. And oftentimes, parliaments have been slow to realize this and to act on it. We know that young people make up a significant number of the electorate. We need to empower them. They demand less talk and more action. Issues of crime by our youth must propel our parliaments to be more proactive rather than reactive. As a small island development state faced with these same issues, we are fully cognizant that we are paying the price for and feeling the effects of the blatant disregard for the climate crisis by developed countries. This has caused our parliaments to look for innovative ways to implement climate mitigation and climate adaptation methods, and to buttress these by climate resilience. This has come at a cost of policy issues. To quote from our Prime Minister, Mayor Amora Motley, at the Bridgetown Initiative 3.0, we are living in the season of superlatives on a scorched earth. To have any chance of reversing this trajectory, we must build a more responsive, fair, and more inclusive financial system to fight inequalities, finance the climate transition, and accelerate the achievement of the sustainable goals. In 2023, the global average near-surface temperature was 1.45 degrees centigrade above the pre-industrial baseline, and the average temperatures temporarily breached critical 1.5 degrees centigrade threshold. 2024 is becoming the warmest in recorded history. The resulting impacts are especially devastating in climate-vulnerable countries, which are home to 4.5 billion people, half of whom live in poverty. There has to be a paradigm shift in the discourse of scaling capital flows and reshaping the financial system to achieve the SDGs and spur climate action. There has to be greater efforts for reconstruction of the unsustainable debts. There must be a more equitable governance of the international financial institutions. Lower and middle income countries, including small island developing states, feel the implication of this acutely. This calls for development finance at a sufficient scale to enable country-owned structured transformation strategies and move them up to the scale-up chain. This means that countries, including Africa, must have financing on affordable terms. This will enable countries to invest in global public goods, including climate change adaptation and mitigation, fragility and conflict remediation, pandemic prevention and preparedness, food and nutrition security, soil health, water security and access, enabling digitization, protecting biodiversity and nature. Colleagues, three things must be done, and I emphasize must be done. One, we must dramatically increase financing for the SDGs and climate action. Two, we must change the rules of the game. Three, we must shock-proof economies. With respect to number one, the multilateral clearing banks must develop a plan to provide $300 billion a year in affordable longer-term financing for the SDGs, as well as for adaptation, and to expand the criteria used for allocating concessional financing to include climate vulnerability. With respect to number two, the World Bank and other finance providers must include climate vulnerability, neutral capital, and biodiversity conservation needs in their criteria for allocating concessional finance, addressing the inequity of many countries being classified as ineligible solely on gross national income per capita basis. With respect to three, we call on the International Monetary Fund to reduce the cost of lending to make it easier to access resilience and sustainable facility on a standalone basis, and extending the extended credit facility repayment to match the RSF. Colleagues, once more, I commend you for having the fortitude to discuss these burning issues and so put your parliaments in a pivotal position to propel your respective countries to success. I wish you all success in your discussions. I thank you.
Your Excellency, the guest of honor, distinguished delegates, after those speeches, I think it is high time that we get a sneak peek of what Arusha stands to offer, besides the good things that it offers to visitors. On that note, I invite Oljoro JKT Group to appear onto the stage for entertainment. Oljoro, please.
Uzama we na kombetele, ukiona maji yanajawe usiogelele, maana baharini hakuna uvulanavyo usizoele. Halindwa ke halindwa, halindwa we ke halindwa, halindwa we ke halindwa hoyawe, kalinde ke welewe haya. Hoyawe asema halindwa we ke halindwa, halindwa we ke halindwa, halindwa we ke halindwa we hoyawe, kalinde we ke wele haya we haya. Halindwa we ke halindwa hoyawe, kalinde we ke we. Asema mwaka niliosafiri na Wajuma we, tupili matango yangu kachuma, kaya chumu yote shamba zima. Haya we, haya we, halindwa ke halindwa, halindwa we ke halindwa hoya we nindeke. Asema hoya we haurazi moyo. Asema hoya we haurazi. Haya. Yawe haurazi moyo. Asema shangwe na vigeregere we twasherekea leo. Kwanza kwa kupewa mwaliko we twasherekea leo. Asema mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi ni Baba Filipo Mpango, mie kwanza na wakaribisha kwa kuwasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wetu wa Tanzania. Asema na hiyo na waziwazi kazi inaendelea. Asema mie na hiyo na bila shaka kazi inaendelea we. Tena naamini watu wote wameitikia kwa furaha salamu walioyasisi mpendwa Mama Samia. Asema watu wameitikia kwa furaha salamu walioyasisi mpendwa Mama Samia, Rais wetu kipenzi nchini Tanzania. Mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, ni kuna jambo nataka kukuambia we. Baba Filipo Mpango, kwetu sisi huna doa, sera ya kufanya kazi vyema waizingatia, ndiyo maana nchi yetu yazidi kuendelea. Mchango wako ni mkubwa katika taifa letu pendwa la Tanzania. Asema mchango wako ni mkubwa katika taifa letu pendwa la Tanzania. Mko sawa, sio ni tofauti wewe na Mama Samia we. Asema vigeregere kidogo we twasherekea we. Haya we twasherekea. Asema mama naumia we twasherekea we. Mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, maudhui ya mkutano huu naamini yamekushawishi kuja kufungua mkutano tena kwa haraka sana. Naamini maudhui yamekushawishi kuja kufungua mkutano leo kwa haraka sana. Maana mada kuu iliyo mezani inahusu kupambana. Sema mada kuu iliyo mezani inahusu kupambana na changamoto ya kimazingira, mabadiliko ya hali ya hewa ulimwenguni na ajira kwa vijana. Pia na changamoto ya kukosa uhakika chakula. Mie naamini kwa uwezo wa Rabana, asema na changamoto ya kukosa uhakika chakula, naamini kwa uwezo wa Rabana kupitia mkutano huu mwafaka mwema leo utapatikana. Asema we twasherekea we, haya we twasherekea. Asema baba we twasherekea we, asema nyangwe na vigeregere twasherekea. Haya, invite all MP to the CPE meeting. Osweti Kenya lo tongana Namibia, Osweti Kenya lo Soto Uganda, Namibia, Ungozi Kenya Lesotho, Malawi na Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, Ghana, Zambia, Nigeria, Uganda, Zambia, Mozambique, Lesotho, Sisha, Mauritius we, sema pamoja na Tanzania. I invite all MP to the CP. Aya we. Asema Esweti Kenya Lesotho, Malawi na Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda nayo Zambia, Nigeria, Uganda, Nigeria, Uganda, Ghana we na Zambia, Seychelles, South Africa, South Africa, Sierra Leone we, Sierra Leone we, Gambia, Mozambique, Mozambique we, Mozambique we. Haya we Kameruni we, Kameruni we, jamani Kameruni we. Sema na Botswana we, leo na Botswana we, jamani na Botswana we. Mauritius we, pamoja pamoja we, tena pamoja na Tanzania we. Haya invite all MP, sema pamoja na Tanzania. Haya Osweti, Osweti, Osweti. Lesotho, Lesotho, Lesotho. Hema Malawi, Malawi, Kenya we na Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, Ghana, Zambia, Seychelles, South Africa, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Mozambique na Botswana we, Amaruni, Kameruni pamoja na Tanzania we. MP. Haya invite all MP to the. Haya invite all MP. Tuondoke we, tuondoke fundi. Asema tuondoke we, tuondoke fundi. Mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, kabla kuondoka mwanao na jambo ninataka kuongea. Asema mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, kabla kuondoka mimi mwanao na jambo moja ninataka kuongea. Huyu aliyesema umoja ni nguvu, utengane udhaifu, ni kweli hajakosea. Sema huyu aliyesema umoja ni nguvu, utengano udhaifu, ni kweli hajakosea we. Asema umoja wa mabunge ya Jumuiya ya Madola mie umenivutia. Maana kusema kweli maendeleo katika nchi zetu kutokana na umoja huu mengi tunajionea we. Mie ombe langu kwa viongozi, nguvu nyingi wazielekeze kwenye hii jumuiya. Asema nguvu nyingi wazielekeze kwenye hii jumuiya kulinda moja huu usije ukapotea. Anasema kesho tuondokewe, haya tuondokewe, haya we tuondokewe, sema we tuondoke sasa we, haya we tuondokewe, haya we.
Thank you very much, Oljoro. Thank you. Thank you so much for always rising to the occasion and for always never failing to really make us proud. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. And as the Honorable Speaker indicated, those who will have an opportunity to stay behind will sample, more the culture and the what Arusha really stands to offer. Your Excellency, the guest of honor, it's now my distinct honor to invite Right Honorable Sejepo Thomas Solomon, MP, CPA Africa Region President, and the Speaker of Parliament of Sierra Leone to deliver his remarks and thereafter officially introduce Your Excellency, the guest of honor. Honorable Speaker.
Before I deliver my remarks, I wish to state this. Your Excellency, the pathway of Africa's stability and the peace, joy, and happiness we seek in Africa is through our traditions. No other way. The African tradition is beautiful. Let's stick to our traditions. We have allowed ourselves to be influenced by other cultures, other ways of doing things. I think our ways are the best ways. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Pango, the Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson, Speaker of Parliament of Tanzania and President of IPU, the Right Honorable Jata Fabakari Tombog, Vice President of CPA, Africa Region, and Speaker of the Parliament of the Gambia, the Right Honorable Ato Holder, Acting Chairperson of CPA International, and Speaker of Parliament of Barbados, the Right Honorable Catherine Gotani Hara, the Chairperson of the CPA Executive Committee and Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi, Honorable Paul Christian Makonda, Arusha Regional Commissioner, members of Parliament from Tanzania present here, distinguished delegates, Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General of CPA, Mr. Baraka Edelphonse Leonard, Regional Secretary, Regional Secretariat officials, staff of parliaments, accompanying officials and spouses, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings and best wishes from my president, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, retired Brigadier Dr. Julius Maada Bio, and the great and resilient people of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone present here for your presence here today. With special thanks to my esteemed colleague, the Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson, and the entire Secretariat team for the warm and gracious reception of the beautiful city of Arusha. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you at this annual General Conference, made even more significant by the presence of His Excellency Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, representing Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Your Excellency, we are profoundly grateful for your presence and the honor you have bestowed upon us to grace the opening ceremony of this important conference. On behalf of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Africa Region, I would like to express our profound appreciation to Her Excellency, President Samia Suluhu Hassan, for her visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to democracy and good governance. Tanzania's progress in promoting inclusive development, gender equality, and regional peace is a testament to her exemplary leadership. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we are particularly inspired by Her Excellency's recent launch of the National Clean Cooking Energy Strategy in Dar es Salaam. This aspiring roadmap aims for 80% of Tanzania's population to use clean cooking energy by 2034. This initiative does not only improve public health, but also plays a crucial role in mitigating the effects of climate change, one of the key challenges we face today. By reducing dependence on traditional biomass fuels, this strategy will significantly cut carbon emissions and aligns with our collective efforts to address environmental sustainability, which is central to the theme of this conference. The CPA African region recognizes and applauds Tanzania's leadership in addressing climate change. And we see the launch of this strategy as a shining example of how practical policies can lead to meaningful change. Moreover, it underscores the importance of integrating sustainable solutions into national development agenda to confront the existential threats posed by climate change, food insecurity, and energy poverty. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, we reaffirm our commitment to collaborate with Her Excellency's administration and with all African leaders to achieve our shared objectives of development, peace and prosperity for the continent. Once again, Your Excellency, we are deeply honored by your presence, and we look forward to continued collaboration with Tanzania under the dynamic leadership of President Samia Suluhu Hassan. Over the years, I've witnessed firsthand the immense potential of our parliamentary systems to foster development, uphold democracy, and strengthen governance across our nations. Our collective journey toward progress requires a steadfast commitment to collaboration, open dialogue, and the sharing of best practices. As parliaments, we must remain the platforms where the voices of the voiceless are heard, ensuring that their needs and aspirations are at the heart of our legislative agenda. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, today we gather not only to celebrate our achievements, but also to renew our dedication to addressing critical challenges, ensuring food security, promoting the participation of women in key parliamentary roles, creating employment opportunities for our youth, reforming our electoral systems to guarantee free and fair elections, and tackling the pressing impacts of climate change. As we navigate these complex regional and global challenges, we must remember that our strength lies in unity and cooperation. It therefore gives me great pleasure to usher in His Excellency Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, to deliver the keynote address and officially inaugurate the 53rd CPA African Annual General Conference. We are privileged to have him, and I'm confident that his insights, wisdom, and foresight will greatly enrich our discussions as we explore the pivotal role of parliamentarians in addressing the pressing challenges of our time. His Excellency's leadership and dedication to Africa's advancement continue to serve as an inspiration to all of us. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming His Excellency Dr. Philip Mpango to the stage. We eagerly await his address and the valuable perspectives he will share as we continue our collective efforts to shape a more prosperous and sustainable future for our nations. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
You may be seated. Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson, Member of Parliament, Speaker of Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, and President of IPU, Honorable Paul Christian Makonda, the Arusha Regional Commissioner, Right Honorable Segepo Solomon Thomas, Member of Parliament from Sierra Leone, the President of CPA Africa Region, Right Honorable Catherine Gotani Hara, Member of Parliament from Malawi, Chairperson of CPA Africa and Regional Executive Committee and Speaker of Parliament of Malawi, Right Honorable Jata Tambog, Member of Parliament from the Gambia, Vice President, CPA Africa Region, Right Honorable Arthur Holder, Member of Parliament from Barbados, Acting Chairperson of the Executive Committee of CPA International, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Honorable Members of Parliament from the United Republic of Tanzania, Mr. Stephen Twigg, Secretary General, CPA, Mr. Baraka Idelphonse Leonard, Regional Secretary of CPA and Clerk of the National Assembly of the United Republic of Tanzania, distinguished delegates and invited guests, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, I wish to extend a very warm welcome to all our guests. Karibuni sana. The President had intended to personally officiate the 53rd CPA Africa Regional Conference, but could not be here due to other equally pressing national commitments. And hence, Her Excellency sent me to stand in for her and wishes all of you a memorable stay in Tanzania and a very successful conference. Distinguished delegates, I've been brought to understand that this conference is a platform that brings together parliamentarians from across the Africa region and beyond to foster dialogue, share best practices, and strengthen parliamentary democracy. I do hope that delegates will effectively use this opportunity to do exactly that and connect with peers. I have also been informed that the CPA Africa region also aims at promoting peace, unity, democracy, and good governance, as well as stability in all member states. And in view of that, the choice of the theme for the 53rd conference, which is African parliaments at the forefront of addressing existential global challenges, food insecurity, climate change, and youth employment, is both pertinent and timely. Indeed, food insecurity, climate crisis, and youth unemployment pose serious threats to socio-political and economic stability of the continent, and thus requiring immediate and coordinated action. And therefore, parliaments in Africa, as key actors for promotion of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, have a crucial role to play in tackling the said main global challenges by leveraging their legislative powers, budgetary control, and oversight functions. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, food insecurity stands out as one of the most pressing challenges facing our continent. And despite Africa's vast agricultural potential, millions of our people still go hungry. The continent lags behind in attaining SDG 2 targets on food security and nutrition, as well as the Malabo Agreement on ending hunger and all forms of malnutrition come 2025. It is estimated that the proportion of the population in Africa that is facing both moderate and severe food insecurity stands at 61%, which is more than twice that of the global level, estimated at 29.6%. In this regard, the strategic role of parliaments is to urge and vote for enhanced public investments in agriculture and supportive sectors in terms of budgetary resources for increased supply and access to farm inputs, infrastructure, and services. And they include irrigation infrastructure, feeder roads, farming equipment, access to credit, quality seeds, pesticides, extension services, storage facilities, and access to markets, particularly to rural communities. In other words, parliaments are responsible for enacting legislations that support food security and facilitate investment in the agriculture and allied sectors. In Tanzania, through parliament, various laws have been enacted to address food insecurity in line with the National Agricultural Policy, which aims at enhancing agricultural growth and productivity and ensuring food security. Our priorities include improving access to agricultural inputs, promoting sustainable farming practices, and supporting smallholder farmers to access credit and markets. Tanzania has also implemented a number of agriculture and livestock development initiatives, including what we call in Kiswahili as Kilimo Kwanza, which means agriculture first, and more recently, that we have an initiative called Building a Better Tomorrow. So the Kilimo Kwanza initiative focused on targeted financing of agriculture activities and programs, while Building a Better Tomorrow focuses on job creation for the youth and modernizing agriculture through investment in the requisite infrastructure. Again, it's the rural roads, irrigation, storage, communication facilities, research and extension services. We also established the Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank specifically to extend credit to smallholder and middle-level farmers and investors in agriculture at affordable interest rates. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, climate change is another serious threat that is already impacting adversely our continent. As a result, we are increasingly experiencing severe and long-term droughts, crop failures and famine, and similarly, intense and unpredictable rains, flooding, and sea level rise are now recurring phenomena. And although Africa contributes less than 5% of greenhouse gas emissions, which are responsible for global warming, climate change has adversely affected our continent on all fronts, be it economic, social, political, and environmental. In this regard, parliaments and parliamentarians are duty-bound to ensure that concrete measures are taken by governments and other stakeholders to address the climate crisis through implementation of robust mitigation and adaptation measures, including adoption of green technologies. Apart from allocating a commensurate share of budgetary resources for national environmental protection programs, parliaments ought to hasten ratification and implementation of international agreements, notably the Paris Agreement and the Doha Amendment to the Kyoto Protocol. Parliaments are also expected to oversee implementation of nationally determined contributions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as well as enhancing transparency and accountability of climate action and reporting. In addition, parliaments ought to be at the forefront of raising the profile of the climate change agenda through quality debates so as to promote a better understanding of the need to take prompt action to prevent an environment catastrophe at national and global level. Like many other countries in sub-Saharan Africa, Tanzania too faces significant threats from climate change. In response, the Parliament of Tanzania enacted the Environmental Management Act and the Water Resources Management Act, which include provisions for mitigating climate change impacts through reforestation programs, conservation of water resources, and promotion of renewable energy sources. The National Environment Management Council was also established through an Act of Parliament to undertake environmental enforcement, compliance, review and monitoring of environmental impacts, research, as well as raising awareness. The Parliament also has a standing committee on water and environment, which provides oversight function on water resources management and environmental issues. And in doing so, Parliament collaborates with other stakeholders to shape people's perceptions on climate change and impart knowledge nationally as well as at the constituent level. Furthermore, Parliament has been instrumental in advocating for interventions to minimize adverse impacts of climate change on food security, like pushing for smart agriculture and avoidance of conflict over land and water resources, carbon trade to incentivize protection of forests, as well as championing the transition from the use of charcoal and firewood for cooking to clean energy, an agenda that is championed Africa-wide by Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan. Similarly, parliamentarians are at the forefront of the tree planting campaigns, street cleaning in urban and beach areas, as well as distribution of gas cylinders to the local communities in their constituencies. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, with regard to youth employment, it is well known that Africa is now the world's youngest continent, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africa under the age of 70, and the median age is only 19. This youthful profile creates a potential for economic growth when the share of the working age population exceeds the non-working age population. And in Maasai language, we call this the demographic dividend. However, it is estimated that 10 to 12 million young people enter the labor market each year, but only 3 million are absorbed, leaving the majority of the youth either unemployed or forced to settle for low-paid and low-productive jobs to make ends meet. The prevailing underemployment and lack of employment prospects for the youth in African countries are driving the young people to migrate to urban centers or overseas, even in very dangerous circumstances. As a result of unemployment frustrations, the youth have become prone to extremism propaganda and even joining political riots. Under the above circumstances, parliaments are duty-bound to voice the plight of the youth, putting forward practical interventions required, and advise the executive to devise youth employment programs and to see to it that they are reasonably funded through the national budget and cooperation with other partners. As parliaments exercise their legislative and oversight functions, they need to work with governments to promote employment policies and programs and innovative financing for youth entrepreneurial programs. Parliaments should also advocate for education and training reforms to facilitate school-to-work transition, prevent skills mismatches, side by side with the special programs and dedicated funding for projects that are run by youth groups and those with disabilities, but also ensure that young people receive equal treatment in the job market. For example, here in Tanzania, each local government authority is required by law to set aside 10% of revenue from own sources to fund projects run by youth groups, as well as those run by women and people with disability. Distinguished delegates, since agriculture is the main employer in Tanzania, absorbing about 75% of the population, we have deliberately tripled the agricultural budget over the past 3 years. The government has also set up a startup capital fund under the Building a Better Tomorrow program to facilitate access to land, acquisition of agro-inputs, and modern technology. The program has also entailed establishment of a digital platform for registration of farmers and posting of inputs and market information. The government has also leveraged on cooperation with multilateral companies and partnerships with the private sector to attract foreign direct investment in the agricultural sector. And some of the areas that are apparently attractive to our young people include horticulture, livestock fattening, fish farming, agri-tech, e-commerce, logistics, and marketing of farm produce using ICT. Distinguished delegates, in winding up, I would like to stress that addressing the global challenges of food insecurity, climate crisis, and youth unemployment requires collective action of all stakeholders. Importantly, it also requires sustained peace in Africa. And in this regard, African parliaments are uniquely positioned to spearhead this drive through effective and legislation and oversight. Let us seize the opportunity offered by this conference to exchange best practices and country experiences on tackling these global challenges more effectively, alongside greater resolve to end conflicts and silence the guns in Africa. Peace is imperative for tackling all burning global challenges. Together, we can overcome them and build a better Africa for future generations, as envisaged in the 2063 agenda, the Africa we want. With these remarks, it is now my singular honor and privilege to declare the 53rd CPA Africa Regional Conference officially opened. God bless CPA Africa region. I thank you.
Your Excellency, the guest of honor, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinct honor to invite Honorable Osei Che Mensa Bonso, Member of Parliament, our senior regional representative and the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs from Ghana, to move a vote of thanks.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, standing in for Her Excellency, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan. Right Honorable Dr. Tulia Ackson, Member of Parliament, Speaker of Parliament of Tanzania, and President of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU. I guess it's important to elaborate on what is IPU for starters. The IPU is the World Assembly of Parliaments, of all the parliaments of the world, and we are blessed as Africa to have one of us as the President of the Union, and we must acknowledge that. Right Honorable Segepo Solomon Thomas, President of CP Africa Region, Right Honorable Jataf Fabakari Thomborg, Vice President of CP Africa Region, Right Honorable Catherine Gutani Hara, Chairperson of Executive Committee of CP Africa Region, and Speaker of the Parliament of Malawi, Right Honorable Arthur Holder, the Acting Chairperson of CPA International, Honorable Paul Christian Makonda, Arusha Regional Commissioner, Mr. Steve Twigg, Secretary General of the CPA International, esteemed members of Parliament of Tanzania, distinguished delegates, regional secretariat officials, staff of parliaments, accompanying officials and spouses, friends from the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed with great honor and privilege that I stand before you here today as the senior regional representative to deliver a vote of thanks at this momentous occasion at the official opening of the 53rd CP Africa Annual General Conference. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for taking time off his very busy schedule to grace the occasion with his presence and for his very inspiring keynote address. Your Excellency, your words have set the tone for this conference and have provided us with a much-needed fillip as we commence our deliberations. For the remarks of the Speaker of Tanzania, I need not run any commentary on it. Sharp, crisp, and on point. On my own part, it is just to state that I wasn't expecting anything less. The epitome of parliamentary democracy. Right Honorable Speaker, the pivotal statement that underpinned your remarks, together it is possible, is not lost on me. It is the central theme of my own Vice President, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, who is a presidential candidate of the ruling party, the New Patriotic Party, in the upcoming December 7th, 2024 presidential general elections. Right Honorable Speaker, I will faithfully relay your belief and commitment to this credo. It is possible. And I guess my second Deputy Speaker, who is here, understands and appreciates what I'm saying. The commitment of Tanzania to the cause of the association inspires all of us. We shall be guided by your words of motivation, Excellency, during our plenary sections and the annual general conference. Once again, Excellency, thank you very much for your time and presentation. To the chairperson of the Executive Committee of CPA Africa Region, Right Honorable Catherine Gutani Hara, your own remarks represents the vision of emerging democratic governance, the connect between the governed and the governors. Our compatriots are losing faith in democracy because the dividends of democracy are proving to be illusory. As members of parliament, it is imperative that we hold our governments to account. The next 1 year ahead of us is going to be very critical for the evolution of the CPA. And the Secretary General, Mr. Steve Twigg, has provided a very useful insight as to where we are going. We are grateful to Mr. Steve for his own personal commitment. However, Africa will not relent until the baby is delivered safe and sound this time around. To rehash the words of the chairperson of the Executive Committee, we do not want, and you were right when you said that this effort started about 30 years ago. So we do not want to have another infliction of miscarriage. We don't want to experience another miscarriage. Let this baby be delivered safe and sound to all of us. Let me, on behalf of CPA, express our gratitude to Right Honorable Arthur Holder for the perspectives shared to improve and ensure equity in the world economy. The IPU is at the United Nations, where these things are discussed. And it's rather ironical for us. The IPU is seeking greater presence within the confines of the United Nations. And it's good for us that we have one of our own now leading the effort of this presence that we seek for the IPU in order for the perspectives of Parliament and parliamentarians to be brought to bear at the bigger forum of the United Nations. So, Madam Speaker, your job is cut out for you. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of esteemed speakers of Parliament from various African countries. Your participation underscores the importance of this gathering and reflects our collective commitment to strengthening parliamentary democracy across Africa and hammers home the importance of the strategic decisions that shall be taken at the plenary of the AGM. I think I should also mention the brief remarks of the president of the CPA, who is urging us to keenly focus on the theme of the conference. We are grateful to him. To all delegates who have traveled from far and near to be here today, your presence is greatly appreciated. It is through your active participation that we can share knowledge, exchange ideas, share best practices, and foster collaborations that will benefit our respective parliaments and help us all to secure for our citizens and posterity the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity, and prosperity. Special thanks to the organizing committee from the Parliament of Tanzania and the Regional Secretariat for their tireless efforts in ensuring that the conference attains success. The seamless coordination and meticulous planning are evident in every aspect of this conference. We are grateful and indeed deeply grateful to the Parliament of Tanzania, whose generous contributions towards preparation for this conference after 2 false starts by 2 of our parliaments is most commendable. Your support to the cause of Africa and to that of the CPA Africa region is simply invaluable and incalculable. In conclusion, let me reiterate my enormous thanks to each one of you for making time out of your programs of activities in your respective parliaments and constituencies to attend this important event. As we proceed with our sessions over the next few days, I'm very confident that we will engage in fruitful discussions that will lead us to actionable outcomes for the betterment of parliamentary democracy. To Arusha, which represents diversity in unity, or unity in diversity, we should eternally be grateful. How did you put it, Steve? The Geneva of Africa, or the Arusha of Europe. Thank you very much. So thank you all once again, and may we have a very successful and productive conference. I thank you all for your kind indulgence.
Thank you very much, our senior regional representative. Your Excellency, the guest of honor, distinguished delegates, I now humbly request Your Excellency and all distinguished delegates here assembled to rise for the national anthem of the United Republic of Tanzania. Brass band, please. May we be seated, please? Your Excellency, the guest of honor, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the last segment on our program is a group photo. I will therefore call delegates in clusters to come onto the stage and get a photo opportunity with the guest of honor. I have 5 groups. And to start with, I would humbly invite speakers and the presiding officers to come onto the stage for the group photo. You will have to come on my left-hand side, climb upstairs, and line behind the high table. So, may I request speakers and the presiding officers to please